box. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Trump supporters, if no one else believes in you, I believe in you. And I'm even willing to give you a voice. A lot of times, people are not willing to give Trump supporters voices. And I get why. I do. But I need someone brave enough, bold enough, brash enough to get in the box. There we go. I got everything set up, right? Why is this not? What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's just close this out. Let's try it again there. All right, there we go. I know we have Trump supporters here. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Share the live out. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. I'm going to keep resetting this daily gift goal to these little 1-cent goals that'll help push us out to the FYP and hopefully get some Trump supporters in here. I know they are scared. They're scared. But, you know, I've been off for a while. I haven't debated anyone in a while. And so maybe, you know what? Hey, Trump supporters, I'm vulnerable. That's what it is. I'm rusty. I'm rusty, Trump supporters. If you're going to do it now, right? This is the time for you to get me. This is the time for you to come up and dunk on Santana. You got a shot. You got a chance. Trump supporters, get in the box. Trump supporters, get in the box. Listen, if you're going to take advantage now. I'm vulnerable. I'm weak. I'm feeble. This is your opportunity. Or you can continue to hide, which again, I don't blame you all for hiding. Because if I actually voted for a man that has literally destroyed our economy, a man that has single-handedly disrupt our place in the world. If I voted for a man who, thank you for the puppy. If I voted for a man that can't even stay up in the middle of the day, I mean, like we all saw him sleeping at the Pope's funeral. What is that about? Right? Like, what is that about? You guys voted for this strong man. Why are you so scared to actually defend him now? What's going on? Something I want to talk about is, and I just made a video about this, so if you haven't checked out the video, please go check out the video. If you have not checked out the video, go check it out. But I made a video about Donald Trump and the fact that he overturned a ruling that allowed government contract workers to make $17.75 an hour. And he signed an executive order that pushed that back down from $17.75 an hour to $10.10 an hour. That is the minimum federal minimum wage for government contractors now. That's what it was in 2014, 11 years ago. The thing that I think that a lot of people, especially Trump supporters, you should always, you know, the thing that should always pop in your head, and I hope you guys are getting to this point, is why? Why? Why would Donald Trump reduce the earning power of any Americans? What benefit does that provide? Because, right? Donald Trump is America first. That's the entire thing, right? America first. But that doesn't seem like America first to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't fully understand what America first means. Maybe I just need more information. Guys, let's do this. If you could please, if you're watching and you are not a Trump supporter, do a couple of things for me, right? Tap, tap, tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. Share this out to all of your favorite Trump supporters. All of your favorite Trump supporters. Let's get them in here. Let's get them in here. Drop your favorite MAGA line in the chat. Mine is Bass Pro Shop. Is it EC? How do you say your username, friend? IC? I'm sorry. How do you say your username? IYS. How do you say your username? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down because I'm assuming you did not mean to request up. Cool beans. Anywho, drop your favorite MAGA line. Drop your favorite MAGA line, whether it's Fish PFP, right? We know they love Fish and their PFP. Mine is Bass Pro Shop. Maybe you know, Clancestors. I don't know, right? Can't forget about the Clancestors. If they're Blagga, stimulus checks, right? Stimmy. Make sure if you're specifically trying to get Blagga in here, don't put stimulus, put stimmy. They understand that one. So there's that. But anyway, I want to talk about it because there's a couple of things that just don't make sense when it comes to America first, right? Is anyone else paying attention to what's happening at the ports? Is there anyone that's watching the East and West Coast ports? Guys, this is about to get ugly. This is about to get ugly because Donald Trump has some type of affinity for trying to project strength when he's weak. So let's not get it twisted. That's what this is all about. Donald Trump felt as if he could bully China, as if he could bully Xi Jinping, not understanding that China can play those games too. It's always interesting to see the bully get punched in the nose. And with Donald Trump, we know for a fact that the Trump administration has been reaching out to China multiple times a day now, begging for China to come to the table. Begging China to come to the table so we can negotiate on tariffs. Hey, but MAGA, I thought that Trump was a good businessman, right? I mean, you guys voted for him because he's a good businessman, right? At least that's what you guys told me. I tried to say he bankrupted a casino. You guys tried to tell me, oh, it happens. I tried to tell you that he had multiple failures. Trump steak, Trump vodka, Trump knives, Trump water, Trump University, Trump the board game. Well, he's had so many businesses, every once in a while they're going to fail. Donald Trump wrote The Art of the Deal. He cultivated The Apprentice. You're fired, right? Kamala, you're fired. That was his thing. It kind of seems like the failed businessman is failing again. MAGA, am I wrong? MAGA, am I wrong? It kind of seems like the failed businessman is failing again. But you guys voted for Trump. He was a deal maker because he was a strong man, because he would command respect on a global stage. That's that's why MAGA voted for him. Trump supporters, get in the box. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. We are only talking to Trump supporters. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. I love the friendlies. If you're a friendly, keep doing all the wonderful things. Tap the screen, share the live. I'm going to keep resetting these daily gift goals to these small gift goals so we can help push us out to the FYP. But again, if you are not a Trump supporter, if you are not someone that supports Donald Trump, please do not request up. We are not talking to friendlies. Let's make sure if you're in the box, you're a Trump supporter. Chris, are you a Trump supporter? Chris, are you a Trump supporter? Okay. I'm gonna drop you down. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. Because you know the wild thing about like Trump supporters, MAGA, that they're so quiet now because they're not just quiet. You're all good, Chris. They're not just quiet here on my live. They're quiet across all lives, right? But yet they're still willing to say that they would vote for Donald Trump in 2028. I mean, hell, Trump is actually selling Trump 2028 merch. And they're buying it. So if you're watching what's happening to the US and you see Donald Trump talking about and selling Trump 2028 gear, and you guys are buying it, let's be clear. They are buying the Trump 2028 gear. So if you guys, for some reason, are willing to support Donald Trump, buy Trump 2028 gear, and even some of you are so bold enough to say that you'll vote for him again, why are you afraid to defend your position in public now? What is that about? Why has that shift happened? Is it because you guys know that you're in a cult? Is that what it is? Because if you're willing to admit that, then I'm willing to actually, let bygones be bygones. So I'll even say this. If you're a Trump supporter and you're here and you want to admit that you're in a cult, get in the box and I'll give you some respect. I'll give you an opportunity to come up and tell us that you realize that you messed up and you're in a cult. I get it. I absolutely get it. You guys got duped. You guys got duped by a con man, a scammer. You guys got duped by someone who sold you snake oil. And you believe it. And you believe it.
Hi, bro.
Yeah. We are only looking for Trump supporters. So again, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. You know what the tough part about all of this is, though? We told you so. We told you so. Now, don't get me wrong. The toughest thing in life for me is to hear my wife tell me, I told you so. And the interesting thing about my wife is that she's quite often right. I'm not gonna say she's always right because, that would be setting an unrealistic expectation, right? But she is very often right, just like we were right. FaZe, are you a Trump supporter?
I'm so sorry for coming up. I'm a Kamala Harris supporter, but
Okay.
I just want to say there's this guy in Texas. He's running for Texas House, and he debates.
Oh, I didn't do that, but it looks like someone got you up out the paint. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. That wasn't me. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Justin, are you a Trump supporter?
Yep.
You are?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Justin, first and foremost, welcome. Thank you for coming up, friend. Justin, do you know who I am?
I've heard of you.
You've heard. Awesome. Justin, I've been away for a while, and I think a lot of people might not remember who I am or what this is. So, Justin, you mind if I give everybody just a quick introduction to who I am and what this is?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Give me a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Guys, welcome in. Again, this is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box. We have my friend Justin up here, and Justin actually just came up because Justin knows what he voted for. Justin, Donald Trump, it's been 100 days now. It's been shaky at the best, right? So Justin, quick question for you. Which one did you vote for? Did you vote for crashing the economy, the de-education department, a powerless country, to show off your isms, or did you come up here just to admit that Donald Trump duped you? Because I'll take that one too, friend.
The main reason I voted for him was to keep the white people the majority.
Okay, I can respect that. So you subscribe to the Great Replacement Theory?
I don't know what the term is, but I guess so.
Well, wait, so you don't know what the Great Replacement Theory is?
I mean, I might, but I don't have a title for it.
Okay, cool. So let me tell you what the Great Replacement Theory is. So the Great Replacement Theory is based off a premise that white people want to stop different forms of not only people coming into the country, but forms of interracial couples being made and all this other stuff. Because what it really boils down to is that by a certain time, I think it's 2040 or something like that, white people will be in the minority. They will no longer be the majority here in the US. And so they are trying to pursue avenues that will ensure that white people can continue to be the majority. So that's what you're referring to, right? 2050? Okay. All right. So cool. So you voted for Donald Trump to show off your isms.
I guess so.
Okay, cool. So question for you, friend. Because you are a white man, can you give me like your age range? You don't have to give me your specific age, but just your range.
Yeah, I'm 18.
You're 18. Okay, you're a young guy.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. What part of the country are you from? Again, you don't have to give me. You can give me your state, but nowhere specific. I don't want you to give me too much.
I'm from Miami.
Okay. Wow. You're a young man from Miami. That is wild. And as a young man in Miami, you don't want more, I guess. Okay, I'm going to be fair. Take a whole step back and tell me why your thought process is like you want to preserve the actual, white race as far as being the majority here in the U.S. Give me your thoughts and your premise behind that, friend.
Because I severely doubt that if it were any other race that were the majority,
Mhm.
maybe aside from Asians, we wouldn't be as forward in terms of technological advances.
Okay. So white people create stuff.
Yep.
Cool. Give me a couple of things that we wouldn't have if white people didn't actually create them. Like, what are some of the major you know what? I got one for you. You are from Miami, right?
Yep.
And what's the temperature there?
It's like 80.
Okay. So it's 80. It's 80 and it's hot and it's always raining, right?
Yeah.
Well, not always raining, but raining a lot.
Yep.
Okay, so I want you to do this for me, and I was gonna give you one, but I'll let you give to me. Give me a couple of things that white people created that's absolutely necessary, that's, I guess, progressed us as a country.
Well, I mean, Henry Ford built the first car. Steve Jobs built your iPhone. Most doctors are white, even per capita. I mean, it's just countless things I could name.
Okay, so Steve Jobs with the iPhone. Most doctors are white. That doesn't really answer the question that I actually specifically spoke to, but I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. So tell me this. With the ideas that you have as far as like certain technological advances, is it that all of these advancements are only done by white people, or has there been a actual diverse collective initiative to help create and innovate, right? And I guess the better way to put it is the actual things that you're speaking to, was it done alone by white people, or was it something that was actually done as a collective effort?
I mean, diversity is a part of it, but the ultimate organizers are white.
The ultimate organizers are white. That's interesting how you say that.
Yeah, like
So
the CEOs and whatnot.
Okay, so that's interesting. So your premise is because white people are the quote unquote organizers, that they need to continue to be in the majority in order to actually progress the country.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's take this premise, right? And let's take a look at two of the people that are white and they're leading this country, right? There's a couple of different ways that I can go, but let's start with Donald Trump, right? So let's talk about his leadership skills.
Yeah, they're great.
So cool. So tell me what's great about Donald Trump leadership skills.
He's able to attract a bunch of people. Like, he's very charismatic, and he didn't even have to really be your typical politician to win. A lot of the reason, I mean, he's just entertaining, so I think that's why a lot of people voted for him, because they wanted some type of shakeup within the boring political system.
Yeah, no, I agree with that one, right? I mean, I think that a lot of people voted for him based off of a premise of not understanding how politics work and what they actually do. And yeah, thank you for the cake. Donald Trump lied to him in a lot of different aspects. And so I do understand and agree with that. But I'm trying to understand, like, what qualifies Donald Trump to be a good leader? Is it the fact that he is unable to pass any legislation because he has the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court, but yet he hasn't tried to pass any bills, and he's also continued to get struck down in the court system? So he doesn't necessarily have leadership, right? I mean, because if he did, he would pass bills, right?
Well, the struck down part, I mean, you can't really do anything about that.
Well, he could. He can stop doing stuff that's illegal.
No, but even if he does illegal things, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean his executive order is gonna get destroyed.
Right. No. I mean, if his EOs were legal, then the courts wouldn't be able to overturn them. And also, you do understand, do you get the point that I'm making, though, as well? If he's a good leader and you have full control over the government, why not pass legislation that's permanent versus, or, for the most part, permanent, versus signing an EO that can be challenged?
I mean, because he wants a major shift. He doesn't just want little things. So
but again, how do you create major shifts for things that can be overturned? So are you talking about not a major shift, because that wouldn't be it, right? A major shift would be, getting something passed like the Affordable Care Act, where Republicans try to overturn it over and over and over, and being unable to actually overturn it due to the popularity and not being able to, repeal and replace it. Like, that's a major shift. Are you referring to something like shocking the system that upsets a lot of people and causes a lot of harm, but then actually, it's end up being overturned?
I mean, that's part of it.
Already established that he's not an actual leader in the sense of being able to actually pass legislation. Cool. So what about his ability? You said he attracts people. I'm not gonna actually push back on that, because yeah, he's a cult of personality, right? You and I can agree on that. But is he a unifier?
No.
All right. So I guess wouldn't he need to be someone that's a unifier? Thank you for the goose or the bird or whatever. Isn't that like a quality of a good leader, someone that can actually unify people no matter what their differences are?
Well, by that reasoning, nobody is a good leader nowadays, because it's too divided.
I disagree. Joseph Robinette Biden actually got multiple bills passed with a split electorate and got some massive legislation passed, right? I mean, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, the infrastructure bill, like, these were major pieces of legislation that was passed, and he didn't have the control that Donald Trump has.
Well, I wouldn't say Joseph did. I think he was just. I think that's what was being said, but I don't think he really did anything past his first year.
Oh, so you think it was somebody else doing it?
Yeah, he was way too.
Okay, cool. So let me grant you that premise. Let me grant you that premise. If you're saying that Joe Biden wasn't the one that actually got all of this done, cool. You said that Donald Trump brings great people in around him, right? But if Donald Trump brings great people in around him, and those great people can't actually get legislation passed, but Joe Biden had people around him, great people around him, who got legislation passed, does that mean that Donald Trump is still a worse leader than Joe Biden, because even the people that he brings around him aren't as good as the people that Joe Biden had around him?
No, Joe Biden is he's too slow. Like, he's too like, you need to
slow as ableist friend. Don't say that.
Like, you need to be fired up. You can't, like, Biden was just too he was just too tired all the time. Like,
Donald Trump literally has fallen asleep in multiple public places, including recently at the Pope's funeral. Why was he sleeping at the Pope's
Well,
funeral?
I mean, I don't. The Pope is a. All right,
As a world leader, he fell asleep at the Pope's funeral at somewhere after JD Vance, gave him the kiss of death.
come on.
Hey, well, yeah, okay, I'm being a little bit facetious, but come on, you gotta admit, like that's wild, right? Like he beats was it double pneumonia and all of this other stuff, and he gets past all these health issues that he's having, and then the one time that he meets with JD Vance is he's out of here.
Well, everything was recorded.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that he didn't come in and put the kiss of unalivement on him. Anyway, hold on. Let me read this off. I gotta read this off. Guys, W's in the chat for Gene, who sent a $1 donation saying, Justin wants to talk about how America wouldn't be here without white people. America was built on free labor of slaves. Justin is disgusting. Yeah, we do know that actual slaves built this country. We have people like the Asians who actually built the railroads. We have, the Italians that came in, and we know for a fact that this country was literally built off the back of people from other countries, and it was actually made great on that premise. But anyway, guys, W's in the chat for Gene, who sent that $1 donation. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And if you're watching over on YouTube, first of all, what up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? But if you're watching over on YouTube, one, don't forget to actually like the stream. But two, if you want to support the live, you can support through a YouTube super chat where I will read off of your message. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Let's get the shares up. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Trump, get in the box. If you're a friendly, please do not request up. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only talking to Trump supporters. We got Justin up here, who is someone who believes in the great replacement theory. He believes that white people are better leaders, i.e. why Donald Trump is actually a better leader and someone that's going to push this country forward. We've already talked to a couple of different reasons why Donald Trump can't lead or is not a good leader. But we're circling back around. So, Justin, we've already talked about how that Donald Trump doesn't actually pass legislation, so he doesn't, govern. He's not someone that unites people. We can talk about the simple fact that there's literally protests every single month, millions of people protesting our president. But something else that I want to actually speak about. I want to speak about his negotiation skills, right, Justin? Because I mean, like, something that's being a good leader is you should be able to actually get a deal done, right?
Yeah.
So cool. If he's someone that should be able to get a deal done, but Justin, you live in Miami. What do the ports look like in Miami?
The ports meaning what?
Like, where's all the ships? Why are ships no longer coming into the ports?
I mean, I don't live directly by the water, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but you would know, right? You would know. Yeah, so China is actually cutting off a lot of the actual shipments, right? I mean, they started a while ago when they start sending empty cargo containers over. But we are in such a trade war that now we don't even have materials or supplies or products coming in. And so the ports are empty. If the ports are, hey, Justin, what happens if we no longer have products and supplies, things that we actually need for our everyday lives, things that people count on? What happens if they're no longer available?
Well, we could get all that without China.
Okay, so why aren't we?
Because
if we could get all of that without China, why are our ports empty?
it's more work for the corporations to make it here. So
What corporations? Because the whole premise behind actually having people or having the actual corporations make stuff here, we would have to actually reinvest to get. How long do you think it would take to set up manufacturing so we can start making stuff here?
well, they should have done it
I'm not saying they should have. I'm saying, how long do you think it's going to take for people to set up manufacturing so we can make stuff here?
I mean, pretty fast if they're willing to pull up.
What's pretty fast?
It depends on the company.
Do you think that we could actually, any company can actually set up a manufacturing facility and start to actually manufacture products that we need in the US from scratch within 2 months?
I mean, they have the money, so.
Justin.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Justin, you know for a fact that there's no way that these companies can do that. It will take years to actually do that. And not only would it take years to do that, we are running out of these supplies within a matter of months. And the simple fact of the matter is, unless Donald Trump actually cuts a deal with China, which he's been unable to do so, we're going to be so negatively impacted that the stores will not have product. We will not have the things that we need. Prices are going to skyrocket because, Justin, you're a young man. You're 18. Do you know what supply and demand is?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So when supply is low and demand is high, what happens to price?
It increases.
Ooh, so if we have, let's say, toilet tissue, right? And all the toilet tissue the supply of toilet tissue is going down, but everybody still got to poop, right? Everybody still got to use the bathroom, and they keep buying or needing the toilet tissue. What's going to happen to that, Johnson & Johnson that you use to wipe your butt?
They're likely going to make more.
How? If the supply isn't increasing, the supply is going down.
Well, yeah, so you add an inventory.
But again, that's the point. Where are you going to get this inventory from? Because you're not getting it. You're not getting it. All right, so we're going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and get you on up out the pain. I think that we've already established that not only is that Donald Trump is not a good leader, but he is not someone that's been able to progress the country. Also, I would actually I would just throw this to you. Maybe you should take a look at the list of certain things that, not only Black people, but other inventors have. The one thing that I was trying to lead you towards and hoping that you were going to say, but you live in Miami. It's hot. Do you like your AC?
Yep.
Cool. Next time you see a Black person, say, thank you for making air conditioner. Because literally the person that created the air conditioning unit was a Black man. So when you talk about innovation, when you talk about like multiple things that were built by white people, progressed by white people, whatever the case may be, please understand, one, it has always been other people building and creating, and white people have quite literally been colonizers. I hear you, Justin. Listen, yep, I got you, but I don't think that you are equipped for this conversation. So we're going to let you go, guys. W's in the chat for Sharon. Sharon sent a $15 donation and say, this is why teaching Black history in school is important. I think they think white people invented everything. They absolutely do. It's absolutely wild, guys. W's in the chat for Sharon. Sharon, thank you so much for that $15 donation. You are far too kind. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, first and foremost, YouTube, make sure you're liking the chat. I want to see those likes run up. Let's run those likes up. Also, you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that off. And Twitch, what's happening? I see you guys are watching over on Twitch. I want to make sure that you're still there. So what up, Twitch? Kenneth, why is everybody in the chat saying not Kenneth? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I'm TikTok famous. That's what it is.
I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm 52 from Ohio, and I'm one of the founders.
I didn't ask any of those. I didn't like those were none of the questions that came out of my mouth, Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth, what'd you vote for? Was it crashing the economy, the de-education department, a powerless country to show off your ism, or did you get duped? Kenneth, are you willing to admit that you got duped?
No, I think things are going perfectly to me. I wouldn't say perfectly, but
I was about to say that's a big one, Kenneth.
Pretty daggone good though, that's for sure.
By what? Yes, he said that he's a founding member of Blagga. By what measure Kenneth, are things going pretty darn well? Like, help me understand that. Is it the fact that, you know, we are in a position where we are running out of supplies and products because Donald Trump doesn't understand bargaining and tariffs? Is it the fact that you know, he's constantly violating the Constitution? Or is it the protests? People are in the streets. I mean, help me understand, Kenneth, what's going swimmingly?
Well, the first thing I like to say is going to be the that Ukrainian deal where we get those rare earth minerals,
Mm-hmm.
and the other thing I like the way that China.
Okay, hold on. Let one at a thing, Kenneth. One at a time.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, how long ago was that deal supposed to be done?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
come on, Kenneth.
It wasn't more than 100 days ago. That's for sure.
Come on,
I know
Kenneth.
that the 3 years of fighting, and now we get some stuff out of that deal. We weren't even expecting stuff. Now we're getting stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Extortion is definitely the way to go. Cool. So the rare minimal deal, I will give you that, right? I mean, I'm not going to push back on that because I agree with you. I mean, I think it's a great thing because we can't actually, you know, mine those things here in our own country. But again, it speaks to the fact that literally, this was supposed to happen so long ago. Like, but Donald Trump literally actually completely messed up.
When you say so long ago, how long ago are you talking about?
When did Zelensky, when he came here to the U.S. and he was in the White House, he was actually supposed to sign the deal on that day?
No, I'm worried about when you say so long ago. Are you talking like weeks or months or years? We're talking like days, right?
Well, let's hold on.
I mean,
let's be specific.
He just met like 2 weeks ago, and
that wasn't 2 weeks ago.
Was it like a month?
Hold on.
Yeah, let's check their time. But even in that month, we still got those mineral deals that nobody was expecting us to get. That is a deal right out of the book of the art of the deal.
That's not.
I mean,
so
brilliant.
He visited the White House. He visited the White House February the 28th.
Yeah, I mean,
February 28th. So that's over a month ago.
Is it a leap year? Is it a leap year this year?
No, it's not a leap year.
Okay.
But again, like, so my whole thing is, if the actual deal was supposed to be in place, yet he fumbled the deal that took almost 2 months to get it done. Like, how is that speaking to the quote unquote art of the deal?
I remember trying to buy my first house, being stuck in a hotel for like a month and a half. It was a horrible situation. And to think that Donald Trump got to deal with Ukrainian minerals even sooner than that, that's brilliant right there. And
but hold on.
Hey, wait 1 second. You add the Greenland, and then you add you add the Ukrainian deal. Then you want to add Greenland to it,
and they're not getting Greenland.
And then Trump said he may go into,
but
Mexico,
they're not getting Greenland.
May go into Mexico too. So,
Kenneth, there's no way that you're being real right now.
No, I think we're going to get Greenland or Jacob.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, take a step back, Kenneth. So you mentioned the fact that you were stuck in a hotel while you were trying to buy your house, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, congratulations on the house. Even though it's a long time ago, like homeowner
ago, before you were born, son.
Well, first and foremost, Kenneth, you don't know how old I am.
You look so young. You look so young.
Yeah. Secondly, though, Kenneth, seriously, no, home ownership is a big deal. So I don't care when it was. I mean, it's a big deal. But Kenneth, why were you stuck in that hotel? Like, why did it take so long to close the deal?
Yeah, paperwork. I wasn't, I just had my firstborn, and I was anxious about getting him out the apartment into the house. So I tried to cut corners. It's basically my fault.
Okay,
it had to be. It had to. I sacrificed, but it turned out well in the end.
So, Kenneth, do you think that if you would have actually done things the right way the first time, then you would have been out of that hotel quicker versus, cutting corners and all of those things that delayed you being able to get into your home?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's
so you also lost out on a couple of things by not being in your home, like a little bit of time as far as earning equity in the home. Also, you had to pay more rent, which, rent tends to be higher than mortgages. So you had to actually suffer through a few things by creating the problem that you did, right?
No, actually, the realtor kind of paid the bill for us because it was kind of mess up on our part. That was not the point of my story.
Well, I know it's not the point of your
yeah.
story, but it's directly connected because the simple fact of the matter is that you're right? The way that you said that you caused the delays and you cut the corners, Donald Trump caused the delays and he cut the corners with the same deal, and now we're paying for certain aspects.
Biden wasn't even going to get the deal. Harris
Kenneth,
wasn't even going to get the
Kenneth,
deal. They'll still be fighting right now. Full force. We probably had troops on the ground if Harris was the president.
Kenneth, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's
I'm
okay.
just saying. You act
Did I struck a nerve?
You act like there would have been a deal. Trump is the deal maker. He's the one reason we got.
Cool. He's a deal maker. Why is it that he's begging China to take the tariffs off and make a deal?
I mean, I don't see begging.
No, literally. He has multiple people from his administration reaching out to China multiple times a day to actually try to get a deal made. And China has put it out and said they're willing to make a deal, but Trump is going to have to drop all tariffs before they even talk about a deal.
Well, that's a negotiating tactic. You say
no, that's a stipulation.
Okay, we'll see.
We will.
I don't believe that's true because at first, remember last week they said they weren't even going to talk. Now they're talking. They know who the boss is, and it's not Xi in China. It's Donald Trump.
Xi.
He's the one, whatever her name is. Whatever
Xi.
she's name is. Yeah, she okay.
Xi Jinping. Guys, W's in the chat for Erica. What up, E? W's in the chat for I didn't see that. W's in the chat for Erica. I'll just say that. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can actually donate through YouTube Super Chats. Guys, let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. It's my first day back in a while, guys. Let's get the likes up. Let's also knock out the daily gift goal. It's the little kissy hearts. I like the little kissy hearts. Let's do all the wonderful things. Kenneth is up here being delusional, guys, and we're trying to hold his hand and walk him through some of these things because it is a tough time for Trump supporters. Hey, Kenneth, question for you. How are you feeling about the impending recession? I mean, we understand that we've officially had our first quarter of contraction. And so we need a second consecutive quarter of contraction in order to be in a recession. You guys were saying before, like, oh, you guys are Democrats are fear mongering. And we were trying to like warn you. And it's still trending towards that way. Like, so what do you think? I mean, we've already contracted for a quarter and it looks like we're heading in that same direction. What's going on with the economy?
You have to have some contractions, but we have this beautiful baby that we're about to have. This golden age of America has to be born, and that's what those contractions are for. We're setting things straight. We're telling China what the deal is. We're telling EU what the deal is. All around the world, we're setting the stage that you can't take advantage of American markets. You have to pay to get access here, and that's a beautiful thing. The golden age of America, as Trump has said it, is coming upon us. All we have to do is take advantage of it, and I hope that Black people, in particular, take advantage and not let it, not sit on the sidelines as it passes us by. I don't want that to happen.
Cool, Kenneth. Hey, so how do you propose that Black people take advantage of this when, literally, we understand that the things that the Trump administration are doing, they're harmful to all Americans, right? I mean, causing inflation to increase and causing unemployment numbers to go up, causing like these negative impacting factors. We get that, but they actually target or they hit marginalized communities, minorities harder than everyone else. So how do you propose that Black people take advantage of all of these things when they tend to have less and they're going to have even more of less because of the things that Trump is doing? Because, you know, we do understand that, like, even when Trump started crashing the markets, people who were in a position to actually do something, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and bought up more stocks and made $30 million from buying stocks. Like, how are the people who don't have supposed to actually take advantage?
Oh, there's always opportunity in the tragedy that you're talking about.
Like what?
I remember back.
Be specific.
Let me just say, I remember back in the day when people in the hood used to have like.
I need you to be specific on this one, Kenneth.
I am.
No. I mean, I hear you. You're gonna give me this old Negro spiritual story, and I hear you, but I don't want to sing "Way in the Water" right now. I want you to tell me specifically today, 2025, how do Black people or anyone who doesn't actually have said means, how do they actually capitalize on the things that you're talking about?
I would think that we would be industrious, buy a
How?
sewing machine. So buy a sewing machine for your daughter. They can start that small business making the T-shirts that we can't get from China anymore. Make our own, little building blocks. Or we take
Kenneth, you can be anything in this world, but you can't be fucking for real right now. There's no way that you're being serious.
We used to make our own clothes instead of getting them from China, and that's just one of the steps we can do where we can build our own infrastructure. We can do it ourselves without getting
so cool. Your premise is that little girls need to go out and get sewing kits and start actually, making clothes. That's your thoughts and your premise.
Yeah, that's why I was dreaming about that. That should be one of the things that a young entrepreneur can take advantage of. We're not getting it from China anymore, so we can sew our own clothes, make our own fashion. That's the building blocks of building a great society, a great, what should I say, community. I don't want to say society.
So you want to be a communist?
No, I don't.
You want to commune? You want the actual people to own the means of production and to actually share. So, got it, Ken. So you want to get rid of the governmental structure altogether and allow us to actually govern ourselves, make our own stuff, share within our communion. Kenneth, you're a communist.
No, I said
Comrade Kenneth.
All I'm saying, instead of getting that cheap clothes from China, we can make our own with sewing machines and patterns like we used to in the hood. We used to do it. We just have to get back to it. It's hard to do it. But I'm sure young entrepreneurs will say, we don't have these clothes from China anymore. We can make a profit. That's what Black people have done forever. And I think we can employ that steadfastness we've had throughout the years to that type of, I'm just pulling out an example. It could be with 3D printing or whatever we can take advantage of. Let's not rely on China anymore. This block against China is not just for Trump or the billionaires. It's for the Black community. Because I remember they used to bootleg our CDs. I mean, they had bootleg Wu-Tang CDs from China, and they didn't make that music. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
We just need to make our own stuff. I mean, I hate to sound all lofty, but that's a possibility. You ask how we're going to do it.
Yeah, but like it's very impractical, Kenneth. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. W's in the chat for Gucci. What up, Gucci? Saying I missed your lives. I missed you, Gucci. Kenneth is literally the worst. He is really bad, but I don't think he's the worst. I don't know if I would say the worst. He's one of the worst ones, but not the worst. No offense, Kenneth. But W's in the chat for Gucci for that $5 donation, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is appreciated. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana. We are only talking to Trump supporters. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. If you're friendly, do all the wonderful things. Keep tapping the screen. Share the live, do all of that. Is it Canner?
Yep.
Canner, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kenneth, hold tight for me just a second. We're going to talk to Canner. Canner.
What's up, Santana?
How are you?
I'm not bad. How are you?
You know what? Better than I deserve, honestly. I have a beautiful wife who is so much smarter than me, and she can cook like, the most amazing thing. I don't deserve her for many reasons, and I actually have a pretty good life. I have amazing friends. Anyway, better than I deserve. Kenner,
I'm with you. Except for the cooking part, I'm the one that cooks, but my wife is way smarter than me. So
listen. I used to cook before my wife, and now I'm intimidated by the kitchen because now I get worried that my cooking won't taste like her cooking, and so I get worried. Anyway, Kenner, it's been like 100 days, right?
Yep.
And you know what you voted for with Trump, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So was it for crashing the economy, the de-education department, a powerless country, to show off your ism, or do you want to admit that you were duped?
Was not duped. The economy's not crashed.
Crashing, not crashed.
Well, it's pretty much exactly the way it the markets are almost exactly where they were pre-tariffs.
Yeah,
So-
I mean the markets they're still below, but then it's also multiple factors, including we just had the our economy. I'm sorry, our GDP officially shrank for the first time in 3 years, right? So we have that first quarter of shrinkage, which we need a second consecutive quarter in order to quote unquote be in a recession. The inflation rate and interest rates are set to increase. I mean, there's a lot happening. So like, that's why I didn't say crashed, but I said crashing.
So what makes you say, so first of all, the GDP is a little misleading because we had our imports jumped by $333 billion. So if you take that into effect, the GDP really was probably somewhere around positive 2.3. So
yeah,
so
but
that's
like, I mean, I hear you trying to give caveats, but that's not how it's calculated.
No, but there was, because we bought a bunch of things in anticipation of the tariffs, that made the GDP number.
But is that not self-inflicted? Like self-inflicted?
Sure, but
okay.
My point is, if the real GDP number is real, that's a little misleading. Number two, during the Biden.
But hold on. So I got to push back on you on that one, because like it sounds like you're saying hypothetically speaking, but again, hypothetically speaking, if Donald Trump would not have actually started talking about tariffs or doing the certain things that he said that he was going to do, then we would have never actually hit the position that we were in before. Like if he would have just rode Joe Biden's economy, then we would have continued to actually grow. I mean, before Donald Trump started all this, our GDP was expected to grow. So if he wouldn't have done those things and just like, not did all that, then we wouldn't even been in that position. So no.
That's why we elected him, because we didn't want the same old. That's the whole point. So that's the whole reason why we elected Donald Trump, for the economy, so that we did not have the same old thing. And we aren't still in the same positions with China.
We're worse.
Stealing our IP.
We're worse.
And all the other things that they do that they get away with.
But we're worse.
Well,
and hold on, because you said something. I'm going to agree with you, right? I do think that there should have been an actual coordinated effort to deal with China when it comes to theft of intellectual property. Like, I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, and in Trump's first term, he had an agreement with them that dealt with that and other things, and China didn't hold up to their end of the bargain. So
right. So, but why not actually have a coordinated effort with other countries around the world? Because we're not special. We're just next, right? China is hitting not only the United States, but other countries. So why not have a coordinated effort with other countries to actually put, sanctions or whatever the case may be on China until they stop stealing intellectual property, versus trying to start a trade war with the rest of the world, not getting the support that's needed, and then actually trying to target China? Like, what are we doing there?
I mean, I'll give you this. What he's doing is risky. It's different. But if we could just support the economic part of it and stop simping for China, then it would make it a lot easier for us to negotiate this. If we're not, so that's just part of it. So,
but how are we simping for China?
What'd you say?
How are we simping for China?
I mean, you specifically are not, but if you go on these lives and you hear people, they are. I promise you, next week at some point, people are going to start changing their profile pictures to the China flag at some point, because they hate Donald Trump so bad.
Well, you already have Kenneth Kenneth is a communist now, so he's already switched. So I get it. There's that. Let me read this off real quick, guys. W's in the chat for Gene. Gene sent a $1 donation saying Kenneth is saying that he wants to make our own stuff. But where do we get the materials from? A lot of these materials that we use come from China and other countries. I know Gene, he doesn't understand this, but I know. W's in the chat for Gene for that $1 donation, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can support with a YouTube super chat. Yes, Kenneth.
Didn't we used to make a lot of cotton in the U.S.?
Wait, Kenneth. So are you saying that you want to go back to picking cotton?
No, I'm just saying.
Because somebody got to pick that cotton, Kenneth. Are you volunteering to pick cotton? Kenneth, so wait. So now you were saying that you're a communist. Now you're pro-slavery. What are we doing, Kenneth?
I think we get some of those.
Wait, what are we doing, Kenneth?
Some of those migrants that were picking oranges.
Yeah, let's go back on mute, Kenneth. Let's go back on mute.
Yes,
All right,
please don't-
Canner.
Please don't tangle our two conversations.
Oh, Canner. Okay, so the point that I'm making though, right, is like I get you, and so this is the problem that I have with Donald Trump, and this is me being serious, right? A lot of the things that he wants to actually do, he could get done if he did it the right way, but he doesn't do things the right way. And I'm not saying that, you know, he has to actually, you know, do A, B, or C, but like you have to be strategic. And when you do things like create tariffs based off of some random formula that is just the amount of deficit divided by the total trade divided by 2, like what are we doing?
Like I said, it's risky.
And it's not risky, it's nonsensical.
First of all, if you do, China does not deal, or we already tried to negotiate with them the proper way his first time around, and they flat out didn't do it. We need better trade deals with other countries too, and we need to find a way to go around China for things. So sorry, my dog's just freaked out, but like I said, you know, the disruption, you know, you had mentioned something about interest rates. The interest rates aren't going up. They're, you know, kind of stagnant. And within the last week, they've gone down a little bit. And that's the main reason why I like the disruption, because interest rates were going to take a long time to get down to below 6.
But no, interest rates aren't going down. Like Jerome Powell has already announced that there's going to be an actual sharp reaction to Trump tariffs because they've been so disruptive and so unexpected that he said that, and this is why Donald Trump has been contemplating firing Jerome Powell, because he won't drop interest rates, and he's saying that interest rates are going to go up.
Yeah. So when I speak of interest rates, I'm talking about 30-year fixes. He's talking about the Fed rate controls like equity lines and seconds.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And it can indirectly affect 30-year fixed loans. So
I get you.
But so, because, you know, when Powell dropped them 50 cents or 50 points back in September, the interest rates actually went up on 30-year fix, but that's a whole nother story. But
what about, I mean, we can also talk about the bond market, right? Because the bond market is starting to suffer, and let's not forget who holds a lot of US bond as well.
Yeah, they hold, you know, maybe
a lot.
2%, like under $1 billion out of 37 trillion.
But they hold a lot. Like, yeah, I mean, you know,
things. Japan actually holds a lot more than China does. China's number 1. So, or I mean, I'm sorry, Japan. Is number 1.
Yeah, I get you.
But anyways, my point to you is, if let's say we'd have elected Kamala Harris, and she would have done the same thing Joe Biden's doing for the most part with the economy, and I beg to differ, maybe even a little worse, because of maybe being a little more extreme on certain things than Joe Biden, because he's more of a centrist. It could, you know, eventually everything would have, you know, the markets would have turned around, the housing market would have turned around eventually, maybe not even during her term.
But what's eventually though? And see, there it is. So your premise is, and this is the thing that I have a problem with, right? Because it's the preaching of short-term pain for long-term gain, right? Yeah. And the more so the premise that, oh, if we go through all of these hardships now in the future, then we'll be better off. But the future is just some day in the future. We have no idea when that's going to happen. But in the meantime, there's a lot of people that are going to be hurt. And, you know, whether they lose their livelihoods or possibly their lives, you guys are for some reason okay with that.
Well, no, I don't want anyone to lose their lives, but I argue that this way would be a much shorter. You can either have a slow, painful process of going through this to get interest rates back down so people can buy houses again and get out of the house they're in and refinance and do all that stuff, or you can wait or you can try to do it quicker and artificially, and at the same time get better trade deals, handle China, get a couple more good trade deals with other countries that are not necessarily saying ripping us off, but we could get a better deal with.
But so I'm trying to understand though, why is it that you think that Donald Trump is going to be the one that fixed all these things when literally he has not only added to but broke multiple things? When you talk about the housing market, we understand that he did multiple things that actually impacted the housing market in a negative way, which caused us to be where we are today.
I completely I'm in that market. I'm in that. I work in real estate, mortgages, and
Mhm,
commercial real estate between me and my wife, and less than 4% of single family homes are owned by corporations. Everyone's like, oh my God, the corporations bought all the homes. Like, that's such an exaggeration and not true that it's not even funny. And so while I agree, I don't want corporations buying up a lot of homes. We're talking about I think it's 3.7 or 3.8% of the single family homes in America.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but there's multiple factors that were including, purchasing those homes, and also, I mean, I can pull it up there. It's more than 3 point whatever. But I can pull that up. Yeah, I can pull that up.
Aren't home prices
How many
coming down now?
single-family homes are owned by corporations?
No, they're not.
I'm asking a real estate guy. Aren't home prices coming down? I saw where they're coming down now.
It depends on what part of the country. I mean,
But they are coming down though, right?
in some places. Some of them are going up.
That sounds like a win for Trump right there. Sounds like a win for Trump.
What?
Home prices.
How is that? How is that a win? How is that a win for Trump?
Because people
how is that? Hold on. How is that a win for Trump when it's not nationwide? It's specifically targeted in different areas. But when we talk about, when we talk about those areas where people want to live, right, in the coastal cities and all this other stuff, like the actual homeowner cost isn't going down; it's actually increasing. But if you want to go to like Nebraska and buy a house, yeah, the home prices are for sure going down.
No, he said the real estate guy said they're going down various parts of the country. I'm sure that
yes, various part. Okay, cool. Real estate guy. Our home prices going down in New York?
No.
Our home prices. Hold on.
DC.
Yeah, our home prices going down in DC.
I don't pay attention to DC, so I couldn't.
Yeah, like Kenneth, you can look this up.
In DC?
No, they're not, Kenneth.
Because all the people getting fired, they gotta sell their homes. There's a glut on the market because they have to sell their home to get out.
Okay, Kenneth, I want you to go cite your source. I need you to get an actual source. So go back on mute, go get your source, and then come back. So yeah, the actual corporate ownership is approximately 3.8%. And that's across the board, but it differs, of course, in different areas. And this is what I was just speaking to. Like, there are areas that have higher percentages versus lower percentages, like i.e. Georgia, we know because of Atlanta, has a 11% home ownership of single family homes by corporations. So like, I think there's a lot to that. But with that being said, I mean, the loosening of multiple regulations that Donald Trump did in his first administration really caused multiple impacts, whether it's, them being able to buy those homes or the actual interest rate rising, and just all like multiple factors that were harmful and put us into the position that we're in. I'm not going to say it's all his fault, but he definitely added to it.
Well, the interest rates went lower than ever, and that wasn't all because of him. Part of it was C-19 caused it to go to the lowest levels, but it was in the under fours and in the threes, which you could argue is too low. And I kind of do, like, in a perfect world, you want them to be like 5% or so. So it went too low, and that's what caused houses to go up. Because if your interest rate's 3, and you go to buy a house and it's getting really competitive, you're gonna be willing to go 25,000 higher or 50,000 higher than you normally would, because the amount per month that it's going to cost you to win the house, you're going to be willing to do that. You're not, if the interest rate's 7, every $10,000 counts, because it's a big jump in your payment. So that's why I am. What I like about what he's doing, the chaos he's causing, if he gets a few deals done, it's going to interest rates.
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
That's true. I mean, there's if no matter how you look at it, but I think the likelihood of going down quicker is this way. So,
but see again, Kenner, I'm not disagreeing with you, but again, it goes back to what I was saying is I disagree with the actual like way that he's doing it. And that's the problem that I have with a lot of things that Donald Trump does, is the way that he actually goes about doing certain things. I mean, like when you talk about your whole like thought process as far as the actual I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. There we go. Sorry. The actual premise of like, people are willing to pay $25,000 more when it comes to the actual cost of the homes or whatever. Like, yeah, but Kamala Harris was doing things to combat that directly instead of just crashing the markets. The problems that I have is Donald Trump is literally saying that I'm just going to take a hacksaw to all of this and let the chips fall where they may, instead of actually protecting U.S. citizens and trying to get it done at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing she wanted to do is give a $25,000 down payment assistance program, which is not necessarily a terrible thing, but it is inflationary because it's taxpayers' money, the $25,000. So,
well, not if you actually pay for it the way that she wanted to pay for it.
How was that? How was that?
You're going to use taxpayers' money. To pay
Yeah, how was she gonna pay for it?
Capital by closing capital gain loopholes, making the millionaires, billionaires pay their fair share. Like, I was with it.
So you wanted people to pay unrealized capital gains? That's what you wanted?
Yeah.
That's
I mean, that's a little crazy. I think.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm not simping for.
Can you wait? Can you guys hear that?
What is it?
Is it just okay? So it's just me. It's just me. It's this thing or whatever. I don't know. Can we knock out those pink heart puffs so the sound to stop? Okay, thank you. Yeah. No. Listen. The only Canner, I know you know this, Kenneth. I don't know if you know this or not.
Why? Because I'm black. Because I'm black. I don't know.
No, because you're sitting here talking about sewing clothes, and instead of actually looking at
I'm trying to
taxes
figure out why
and
you
things.
said that. I mean, you give
Because Kenneth, I've had so many conversations with you that I'm not sure if you know this or not. But also, Canner, the real estate man, right?
Yeah,
you said it. You said it.
I'm just saying you gave him credit. I'm thinking because
I did.
White.
No, I didn't give the white man credit because he's white. I gave the white man credit because he's been up here having conversations with me about the housing market and real estate and actual interest rate, and you talking about sewing clothes in the hood. That was what you said, Kenneth.
You didn't ask me that. You asked the white man about the
No, he brought that up. Oh, you said I asked the white man about the smart stuff. Okay, Kenneth. Kenneth. You and I, let's talk about the smart stuff, Kenneth. Kenneth, no. You're here now. You're here now. You're in the thick of it, Kenneth. So, Kenneth, let's talk about unrealized capital gains, right? So paying, closing loopholes and being able to pay taxes on it. Why is it that's beneficial? Because there's an inverse. What's the inverse currently for unrealized capital gains?
Well, they're unrealized. How are you going to pay taxes on something?
What's the inverse on unrealized capital gains?
I'm trying to tell you. How are you going to pay tax on something that you haven't
gotten? What do rich people do with their unearned capital gains, Kenneth?
What do rich people do with their unearned capital gains?
Yes.
Repeat your question and think about it before you say it again. I think you could just say anything, and you would do that. What's
the inverse? Okay, cool. Go back on mute for a second, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Hey, Canner, do you know what the current inverse is with the unrealized capital gains? Why do they want to close the loophole? Because it's something happening with it now.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So cool. So he just said he doesn't know what he's doing. Kenneth, you could have said the same thing.
No, I mean, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I do know what I'm talking about. So what happens now with these unrealized capital gains is you have the ability to actually borrow against that and not pay any taxes on it. So what rich people do is they take those gains and they actually never have to pay taxes on it, and they reinvest those gains to make purchases like additional stocks and things like that. Yes, exactly.
I'm tired of this type of racism. I'm tired of this type of racism.
Kenneth, if you can't answer the question, you can't answer the question.
I mean, you couldn't even ask the question, right?
So, Kenneth, if you didn't know the answer, how would you know the question is right or wrong?
Because you sound like a nigga when you ask.
Oh, there you go. All right, Kenneth, I got to go ahead and get you up out of here. That was horrible. That was a horrible, horrible crash out. Listen, Kenneth, just because you don't know things does not mean that the things aren't right. So again, the point that I was making is that a lot of wealthy people take those unrealized gains and they actually use those unrealized gains to make additional purchases, whether it's property or property or stocks or, different things. They use those to actually buy more things. So they, one, never actually have to spend their money, two, don't have to pay those additional taxes, and three, continue to grow their wealth. So if you actually close those loopholes and they're unable to do so, then you can actually, one, make money off of the taxing of those things, and actually, two, make sure that when they do actually use that to buy things, that again, you're still paying taxes on that. So that was my point.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's some risk to that. I mean, like the idea you just said, like if they take a loan out on it and actually use the money, like
but it's not a loan. They actually use it and they repurpose the actual cost. So they're borrowing from themselves, but they're not paying any type of additional like loan fees or whatever. And and again, it's money that they have never paid taxes. I mean, like things that they never paid taxes on because it's quote unquote unrealized. That's the point.
Yeah,
so they're getting around it.
Yeah, so maybe if you made them pay a tax on that specifically of what you're saying, like if they don't use it, if it's just sitting there, I think that's kind of crazy to tax that only because it could go down the next day and then you were taxed on it and you're not going to get it back. But
we pay property taxes, right? I mean, you can have a house that's worth $500,000 and it's just sitting there, but it's still an actual asset, and so they make you pay taxes on that.
Yeah, and rich people pay that too. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like if let's say you have like 500 million in gains, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are taxed on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the market goes down and now it's only worth 300 and you pay tax on it. And you got to also remember they're going to have to cash out money to pay that tax too, which is going to pull out of the market, which is going to affect the stock market. And if that, I'm just talking like 1 billion, like one rich person, if they have to pull out, $50 million to pay the tax. It's going to affect the markets too.
But then that goes back to like, we have to properly prepare and pay our taxes. So why shouldn't they?
I agree. I mean, I agree somewhat. I mean, but you got to figure out a way to not make a disaster at the same time.
You and I agree on that, right? We definitely agree on that. But again, Donald Trump is making a disaster, and that goes back to the problem that I have. Like he's doing the things that he's doing he's going about it the wrong way.
I mean, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe, I mean, in September, you might be singing a different tune. I think I think there's decent odds of that being the case, but I guess we're going to have to see.
Yeah. Hey guys, W's in the chat for Priscilla. Priscilla sent a $1 donation saying, look up Vinebrook. They own thousands of homes. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at it, Priscilla, but that does not shock me. Guys, W's in the chat for Priscilla for that $1 donation, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read your message out. And also, make sure you're liking the stream over on YouTube. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box. We are only talking to Trump supporters. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are not a Trump supporter, do all the wonderful things. Tap the screen, share the live, knock out the daily gift goal. Also, guys, send your daily heart me. If you have not sent it, it's only 1 coin. It helps boost the live. But please, please, please remember, you have to claim your points in order for it to count. So once you send your heart me, click the little orange heart at the top, and then it'll say claim. You have to make sure you claim it. You can't just send your heart me. You have to make sure you claim it in order for it to work. So make sure you do that. Join the team. It boosts the live. It does all of that good stuff. Kenner, so I guess what I'm trying to say, and just to kind of bring full circle, because like, what's the line of demarcation for you? Like, how much pain are you willing to cause everyday people to get the outcome that you're looking for?
I mean, I don't want anyone to be a pain, but I also want people to have the opportunity to buy a home, which will stimulate the economy, which will make everything better. The whole energy and the housing market are the two most important things in a economy. And if we can get interest rates lower so more people can buy houses and refinance and take money out to fix their home up, and the better it's going to be for everyone, not just rich people. So
I'm just trying to understand though, like, what makes you think that Donald Trump is willing to, like, it, not saying that it won't be a byproduct that people can, like, there'll be more affordability when it comes to homes, but Donald Trump isn't specifically targeting these things. And also he's kind of leaving everyday people out to dry, like where if you can figure it out, then yeah, but he's not making pathways where if he actually crashes the actual housing market, that he's putting people in positions to be able to take advantage of that. I mean, it's just going to be the rich people. So what are we doing?
I mean, that's why people are giving him a hard time for like putting tariffs on, putting them off. They think he's backing out. They think he's trying to.
I think it's market manipulation. I think that he's trying to allow his rich friends like Marjorie Taylor Greene to make $30 million.
Yeah, well, I mean, he would have to tell them which stocks to buy to be able to figure that out. But and I don't think he's going that far. But but like, here's another.
But hold on. But so if he lets them know, like, you know, an hour or a couple of hours before he gets ready to remove tariffs, to actually make, and they gives them an opportunity to make subsequent moves before he does what he does. Like, he doesn't have to necessarily tell them what stocks, but if he gives them a heads up, like, hey, this is getting ready to happen within a couple of hours, like that's the same thing.
I mean, they'd still have to, like I said, they'd still have to pick the right stocks.
Yeah, but again, to Hawk's point in the chat, to Hawk's point in the chat, if it's sectors, right? I mean, if he's specifically targeting certain sectors, then you can actually pick stocks within that sector. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. That's true for everyone, though. I mean,
exactly, it is, but not everyone gets the inside scoop. That's the point. That's what I'm saying.
If you had Twitter, if you had X, you knew.
I have Twitter, but also they know for a fact, they know that it actually happened. I mean, he gave that information to other people prior to putting that out on Twitter. So there was an actual, a whole buildup prior to that.
Yeah.
Hello. Howdy from Kansas. Howdy to you. So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm still trying to understand, like, because there's a lot of people that are going to be hurt. And I'm not saying that you're wrong with the actual end goal. I'm just saying that you're wrong as far as how you go about it. And I also don't think that Donald Trump is doing this for the best interest for anyone except him and his rich friends.
Yeah, I'd argue that he doesn't have a lot of rich friends. He doesn't have a lot of friends. So, but anyways, have you looked into what Walmart's doing with their grow with US or grow with us? Have you saw that?
I have not, but this is an interesting comment here. W's in the chat for Kathleen, who sent a $5 donation that said, "Tell KK Canner Cat said hello."
That's not nice.
Who
was it?
Cat said hello. Yeah, KK Canner. What is that about?
Cat's my buddy. Tell Cat I love her too.
Okay. W's in the chat for Cat for that $5 donation. Thank you so much, Cat. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. All right. Canner, you were saying Walmart what?
I said Walmart has started a program called Grow With Us or Grow With US. It's probably a play on words there. And they're planning on investing $350 billion on products made, assembled, and grown in the United States over the next decade. And this is directly would be stimulated by Trump and this whole tariff thing, and to be, you know what I mean, to like help us to be more not dependent on other countries for things.
So yeah, I mean, I looked it up, and it looks like they're saying it's a 4-step program that gives entrepreneurship training, mentorship, and resources to help grow. But it's, yeah, I mean, and they're saying that they're targeting small businesses. You can register with them. Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to understand, like, what's the overall plan. I mean, I see the highlighted thought process behind it, and I'm not going to say that, yeah, it's not a good thing, right? I think that Walmart, because it looks like they're targeting 4 specific not sectors, but 4 specific areas, right? Learning, get discovered, mentorship, and financing. And so it looks like they're going to be doing open calls in Orlando, Kansas City, Missouri, Baltimore, Maryland, and Texas, where you have to go and be a part of one of the open calls in order to actually be a part of this. But I'm trying to understand, like, yeah, I get it, right? Walmart is definitely in a position where they are greatly impacted by tariffs, right? I mean, they specifically went to China trying to negotiate with China to help them pay the cost of the tariffs, and China said, you know, go blank yourself. But also, we know that Walmart, yeah, I mean, that sounds good, looking to help discover the next entrepreneur and all this other stuff. But we understand that Walmart is one of the most harmful companies within our country, because not only are they, you know, someone that buys all their products from mostly China, but they also don't even pay their employees a livable wage. And a lot of people that work at Walmart have to live off government assistance, including SNAP benefits, which this Trump administration is also cutting SNAP benefits.
Is that official, or is that just thinking it's going to happen?
It's in the proposed budget. That it went through the House. They passed it through the House. They passed that portion in the Senate, but they made some other massive cuts in the Senate, and so they had to send it back to the House, and so the House is still working through it. Yeah. So they're on board as far as cutting those benefits. It's just like, you know, the House is like, yeah, we got some fucked up stuff that we're gonna do, and then the Senate was like, hold my beer, and so now they're going back and forth.
Yeah, well, the Senate usually does do that, but yeah, but I mean, we'll see what that final bill is. I think it would be a mistake to cut Social Security, Medicaid, or SNAP benefits. I think that would be a political bad move on their part, and also not very humane. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So we have to agree there, but anyways, one thing people need to realize about China, though, is that, you know, they have a lot of jobs tied to U.S. companies, and they have a lot of jobs tied to U.S. companies, not just directly. I believe the number is somewhere about 1.7 million jobs. And they also have estimated up to, I've heard as high as 40 million. I think they're exaggerating, but I've heard between 5 and 20 million that has to do with exporting, like outside jobs that aren't directly from U.S. based companies sending stuff back. That's going to cost them a bunch of money. So it's going to, you know, they're not as in a strong a position as people think.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hear you, because I do agree that there are certain factors where China is going to be in a position where they are in a position of strength, and they are going to actually be in a position where they are in a position of weakness as well. But I think the thing that you have to realize is not only is China more self-sufficient and able to outlast the U.S. when it comes to these, you know, different type of trade wars, right? I mean, they don't import as nearly as much as we do, and they're not as depending on us as we are of them, even if you talk about the jobs. But like China, they came out and said it, which is absolutely true. China's been around for what, 5,000 years? The U.S. is just trying to make it to 250. So China knows how to actually make it. The U.S. is still trying to make it as a country. So there's a lot to that.
Yeah, but China has only been a member of WHO since what's been.
We're not a member of WHO anymore.
They've only been in the banking and markets for about 27 years.
Yeah, but we're not. But still, we're not a member of WHO anymore. So what does that matter?
You know my point. They've only been in this. Like you're trying to make it seem like since they've been around for 5,000 years, that gives them the upper edge of.
I mean, but wouldn't that speak more to their actual ability, though? If they've been around for 5,000 years, in which I know that's not, you know, equated. And yeah, someone said, you mean the World Trade Organization? I knew what you were trying to say, because WHO is a World Health Organization. But if they're not a part of WTO, or they haven't been a part of WTO for, you know, whatever amount of years. No, you're good. I knew what you were saying. I mess up all the time too. But when you said it, I knew exactly what you were talking about, even though you said what you said. Yeah. But just actually the fact that they've been able to be so successful while only being a part of the WTO for such a short amount of time. I mean, doesn't that also speak to like them as a country?
That's because they don't play by the same rules.
You're right. You're right.
So
you're right about that one.
Yeah. So we got to get them to play by the rules. And if
but it's not the way that Trump is doing it, though. That's the thing. Like that's the thing.
Let's see what his trade deal for China. If he gets a deal with China, let's see.
But the issue with getting that trade deal is that literally he's caused multiple harming factors. And again, I start off by saying, have you seen our ports? I didn't say this to you, but I said this to someone else. Like, our ports are empty and people are going to be hurting for months until this deal gets done.
That's, yeah, I mean, that's quite possible. And that does suck. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kenner, anything else for you, my friend, before I drop you down?
Nope, I'll come back another time. Hope,
No.
hope you have a good day, sir.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Yeah, guys, I think a lot of Trump supporters don't really understand the gravity of like what's happening, because it is like a lot. It is absolutely a lot that's happening. And it's not just the simple situation of like just getting these things done. I do agree that like there has to be a change, but I push back on the fact that there are any type of like short term that you can get to the long term. Ty, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, but I've listened to a few people and I'm starting to realize the gravity of the situation that is happening right now.
Oh, okay. So you realized that you were duped.
I saw what happened with a interview with Trump in the Oval Office. It was a picture of Garcia's hand.
Okay.
And a 10-year-old could have put MS-13 on that picture, like on a computer or something.
Okay.
And it's quite embarrassing how the president of the United States thinks that's actually true and correct.
Mm-hmm.
And we're deporting people who have cancer.
Mm-hmm. Hey, question for you, Ty.
Yeah.
Because you and I have never spoke, right?
I think once or twice.
Once or twice? You sure about that?
Maybe. I don't have a good memory.
Oh, I got a pretty decent one. Not great, but decent enough. But I guess the question that I have, right, is more so related around the chat, right? The chat is saying that you're a troll. Are you a troll, Ty?
I did vote for him. I've had different.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about your vote. I'm saying, are you a troll?
I have had different views in the past, but I've listened. I've talked to people. I'm trying to change who I am as a person.
Oh, okay. So who are you today as a person, Ty?
Like, what do you mean?
Philosophically speaking, introspectively speaking.
Like, you would have to be a bit more detailed in that.
Where's your
answer.
moral compass? Are you a good person, Ty? When's the last time you shook a hand with a black man?
Morally, am I a good person? Yes, I try to be nice. I work. I have two jobs.
What does work have to do with your moral compass?
Well, I'm just trying to say, like, I try to be a good person in my day-to-day life.
What's the last thing that you did that you can say, you know what? This was me exemplifying how I want to be a good person. What's the last thing you did?
The last thing I did was like on the weekends, I get food from my mother. I go and help my grandmother out when I can.
Yeah, no, listen, I think, doing the good things as far as your family is super important. Like, yeah, I love my mom. W's in the chat for Mama Jones, guys. Massive. W's in the chat for Mama Jones. But like Ty, I think we all understand, like, there's a difference between doing something that's related to your family versus doing something that's related to just people, right? And if you voted for Donald Trump, then your vote actually hurt people. So what's the last thing that you did? What's the last thing that you did that actually was, a positive or a benefit to other people that don't directly impact you?
I don't go out a lot. I'm not a huge people person.
You don't have to go out.
So what do you mean? How did I positively affect other people?
Yeah. I mean, you said that you're working on yourself. You try to be a good person day to day. You try to look introspectively. You want to actually make amends or, penance for your vote. I'm guessing, like, but what are you actually doing outside of your interpersonal relationships with, your family? Like, what are you doing for Ty? It seems like you're, quote unquote, famous in these TikTok streets, right? So at the very least on TikTok, what are you actually doing to help with people that are in a similar position as you to combat misinformation, disinformation, just anything, Ty?
What do you mean? How am I trying to combat that?
My point is, Ty, is you say you're trying to be a better person. You sound like you're regretting your vote or whatever the case may be. And people are saying that you're a troll, but you said you don't think so. You said you think that you're actually your perspective has changed. And so I'm trying to actually validate or verify like how you've actually changed and to let people know that you aren't, a troll, but you're giving disingenuous, Ty. That's what they're saying. I'm just letting you know what the chat's saying. The chat's saying you're giving disingenuous, and I'm trying to help you out.
I have been on this app for a few years. I've had very big and like very different views on a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. W's in the chat for Allison. Allison sent a $2 donation saying Ty is problematic. Be careful. Allison, I am as well. I don't know if you guys, if this is the first time you guys have seen me, but hi, Santana. I quite literally am very problematic a lot myself. So I can deal with Ty. W's in the chat for Allison for that $2 donation. Thank you so much for that $2 donation, Allison. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat. Ty, what are you doing to be a better person? Simple.
I don't understand what you're trying to say by that. Am I donating to food pantries?
Ty, I got another question for you.
What's your question?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Why do you think I'm lying?
Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Ty, simply put, if you were actually trying to change and be a better person or do something more than what you've been doing, then you would actually be able to say, hey, like, yes, I know that I voted for Trump in the past. And yes, I am actively trying to combat misinformation, disinformation, even on this application. Yes, I know that I voted for Trump in the past and I've hurt people. I am, donating your point to local food pantries. Yes, I voted for Trump and it's going to hurt a lot of marginalized people. So I'm doing things like volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club or trying to get more involved with the, my local urban league or whatever, like just anything, Ty, like anything that you're actually doing. Because if you're not doing the things and you're just talking about it, then it's performative and none of it matters, Ty. You don't actually show change behaviors by talking about it. You actually have to do it, Ty. You got to walk it like you talk it.
So you want me to go out there and go help out in my community more?
I mean, if that's what you think would be beneficial, then yes. I just want you to do something, Ty. I don't want you to talk about it. I want you to actually do the things. I genuinely, I mean, the conversation, that's the problem. W's in the chat for Mary. Mary sent a $10 donation saying, hi, this is the coolest Mimi. Hi, coolest Mimi. I wouldn't say fan. You said I'm a fan of yours. You're a friend of mine. You're a friend, not a fan. Well, I don't have fans. You guys are my friends. Keep up the great job. Thank you so much for that $10 donation, Mary. You are absolutely too kind. Thank you. Also, this is another Mimi. It's a different Mimi though. W's in the chat for Mimi, who sent a $5 donation saying, tell him to donate $50 to you if he's really changed. No. Don't donate $50 to me. That's fine. I mean, that's cool. Ty, if you're really changed, I mean, pick a charity, pick an organization, pick something that like people that are being hurt. Like I said, local food banks, like you can literally donate to local food banks that would actually be beneficial. Like there's a lot of things that you could do, Ty, to actually show that you're a changed person. Anyway, guys, thank you to Mimi and Mary, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Over on YouTube Super Chat. So Ty, again, boiling it all the way down. What are you going to do?
I mean, I guess in the future, to show that I've actually changed, I will start donating to food banks, seeing how I can help out the younger generation, help out in I don't know if there's a Boys and Girls Club here, but just helping out in different aspects to try to change different communities and positively.
You know what?
Help them out.
That's a hell of a start, Ty. That actually really is. That really is. W's in the chat for Amy, who sent a $5 donation saying, "Welcome back. We missed you." Blue Heart, big love from California. Thank you so much, Amy, for that $5 donation. You are absolutely too kind. Thank you. I missed you guys way more than you missed me. Trust me, way more than you missed me. I missed you. W's in the chat for Mimi, who sent another $5 donation saying, "Well, here's another $5 just because you're amazing." You're amazing, Mimi. You're amazing. Thank you so much for that additional $5 donation. You're wonderful. Ty, it sounds like at least you're getting it now, right? And I can appreciate that, right? I mean, Ty, I don't think you and I have had much interactions across these TikTok streets, but it seems like, hey, look at the wings.
TikTok street is wild.
Yeah. But it seems like a lot of people have not such a great opinion of you, which, you know, opinions are like Escalades. Everybody got one. That's what Young Jeezy said. But
I mean, they're valid based on of what I have said and the views that I've had. I
Right.
understand that, and I'm not upset about that.
yeah, but my point then, you know, Ty, is I would recommend, and this is just my recommendation, you can take it, not take it, whatever, but like I would actually put some action behind my words, do some things that actually show that I'm willing to change, and then come back. I would stay off panels until you actually have something substantive, so like some actual substance to be able to say like, hey, yeah, I know I messed up in the past. I know that I was harmful with my vote, and I understand not only the difference and the change that needs to be made, but like these are the things that I'm doing to actually prove that I want better, and I'm not just talking.
I mean, do I have to like make videos of me doing these things?
No, because then that just seems performative, friend.
That's
know,
what I was saying. Like, it seems like you're just trying to do it for clicks and views.
No. I mean, I want you to be intentional. That's why when you were saying like, what should I do? I'm not going to tell you what to do. I mean, whatever the spirit moves you to do, right? I mean, back when I used to go to church all the time, and then they send a collection plate around, they would say, give not out of necessity, or begrudgingly, because, you know, God loves a cheerful giver, but do the things that you're talking about, Ty, because you want to do them, and you want to be better, and you want to prove that you are a changed person. And then you do those things, and then you can actually be able to speak on, and you can lean on those actual things that you've done. And it's not just, oh, I did these things to prove that I did these things. Like, if you really mean the stuff that you're saying, then do something different.
That is very true.
That's all I was saying, friend.
Well, it was nice talking.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you for the money gun. Guys, W's in the chat for Lindsay, who sent a $10 donation saying, "Last weekend I bought water and gave money to 2 unhoused people to get a room at a hotel for at least a night. I help unhoused people all the time. We all need to help our fellow man." Yes. Listen, you're absolutely right. Especially now, right, guys? Because things are getting way tougher and things are getting crazier. And we know for a fact that this administration is not trying to do anything to actually benefit everyday Americans, to benefit normal people. And so we have to actually take care of ourselves and take care of others. So that's important. Yeah, guys, W's in the chat for Lindsay for that $10 donation. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, Santana Speaks 24, best way to support live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you are a Trump supporter and you know what you voted for, right? Because you guys know that, you know, it's been 100 days. You got Trump. You're getting what you voted for. Get in the box. We still need to know if you're getting what you voted for, because there's so many Trump supporters that are saying this is what we voted for. That's what they're saying. Trump supporters are literally saying this is what we voted for. Thank you for the cheers. Trump supporters are saying this is what we voted for, and I just need you guys to actually say it with your whole chest. All right, I'm giving you a spot to say it with your whole chest. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. All right, and again, if you're someone who is at the point where, like Ty just admitted, I was duped. I made the wrong decision. Then get in the box. We can talk about that too. Hey, look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. If you're someone that's willing to admit that, yeah, like voting for Trump, I messed up. Thank you for the cake. If you're willing to admit that voting for Trump was a bad decision, get in the box. I'll talk to you too. I'll talk to you as well. But I think we have to actually come to the realization that Donald Trump is not doing anything beneficial for this country. And I think the quicker that we're willing to actually admit that, the quicker that we can move forward and move off of this MAGA madness, for us to be in a position that, hey, Donald Trump is harmful. This Trump administration is harmful. RFK Jr., Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio, Tom Homan, they're harmful. And they're not just harmful to the people that you guys wanted them to be harmful to. Adolf, are you a Trump supporter?
Of course I am.
Okay, you kind of got an echo. Are you in like a tube or a tub or what's happening?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, because there's kind of like a echo. That's the only reason I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're just right at one thing that Trump didn't do that I would like him to do.
What is the one thing that Trump didn't do? Wait, first and foremost,
We need
love the accent.
concentration
Love the
camps.
love the accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Europe.
Oh, okay. So you're from Europe. Hey, question for you. So you're from Europe. Why are you on this live speaking to Americans when you don't even go here? Like, why are you
Because
so
we make
fascinated
fun.
by our
Because
own
we make
fascists?
fun.
Right? Why aren't you so like? Why are you?
No.
Why are you here talking to us about our fascists instead of finding your own fascists? Like, what is that
No,
about?
no,
That's
we-
weird. Hey, do you just go into like your neighbor's house and then just randomly start talking about like their couch or their table? Like, why are you in random people's business? Isn't that weird?
No, because we laugh at Democrats and don't.
I hear you. I don't like. I hear. Yeah. Well, one, Trump meets all 14 tenets. Trump meets all 14 tenets of fascism. But two, again,
No, he's not.
you don't even go here. What?
He's
Like
doing
you're in.
control.
Yeah, you're in Europe. What country in Europe?
I'm from Spain.
You're okay. Cool. You're in Spain. So why not worry about Spanish politics? Why not actually worry about what part of Spain? What part of Spain
Because we
specifically?
have-
Wait. No. I need you to stay here with me. What part of Spain?
From Madrid.
Okay, so you currently live in Madrid?
No, I wish I would come to America.
No. Where are you in Europe now? You said Spain. You said you're from Madrid. Do you live in Madrid? Where do you live now?
Wait, this lady said that I'm a Nazi. Yes, I am.
Yeah, again, I need you to, I need you to focus on what I'm saying, or you can leave because again, you don't even go here, but for some reason you decided to request up and you've requested up multiple times. So now you're up here talking to me. So I need you to lock the fuck in, or you can go. Pick one, Adolf. Are you going to lock in or are you going to leave?
Yeah, I'm from Madrid.
Okay, cool. So you live in Madrid right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I need you to tell me about local politics in Madrid. Why is it if you're in Spain and you're talking about the actual Spanish government, in which we actually, fun fact, I know a lot about the Spanish government. Anyway, why is it that you are so actually interested in the Spanish government versus, the US government versus the Spanish government?
Because for me, it's funny when I see Democrats in America.
I hear you. But what about the Spanish government, Adolf? What about the Spanish government that is losing your attention? Why are you not focused on your own country that you say that you're in?
Because we do not have, some parts in Europe do, but they live under Jewish supremacy.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm talking about Spain specifically. Adolf, you're pivoting, and I need you to stay right here with me. Answer the question directly, Adolf. I don't want to hear about your propaganda. I want answers.
Yeah, great. So we do not have that division like left wing, right wing, like you guys.
Oh, okay. So you're more focused on the actual division within the U.S. versus the division within Spain. So cool. Hey, so tell me about Spanish politics, because again, I need to understand why you are here in American politics while living in Madrid and not focusing on Madrid. Is it something that's happening within the Spanish government that is making you feel like that you don't need to talk about the Spanish government? Like, what's happening in Spain?
So in Spain,
Or you can admit that you're lying and you're not actually in Madrid. You can actually admit that you're not in Spain.
and where I am,
You know, I'm not sure you're not in Spain. Like, again, I never even said that. Listen, I didn't even kick you, but you didn't have to lie. You listen, Adolf, you don't have to lie to kick it. I understand who you are and what you're about, and I still haven't kicked you yet. So why are you lying to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What
Yeah, I said I understand who you are and what you're about, and I haven't kicked you. So why are you lying to me? Why do you feel it necessary to lie, even though I'm sitting here and actually allowing you to be dog walked? Also, that's not how you leave. There you go. So if I'm sitting here allowing you to be dog walked by me, why wouldn't you actually at least be honest?
No, because you're a subhuman. You cannot.
I hear you, but yet I am still dog walking you in every aspect of the word. I am intellectually dunking on you over and over and over, and you have nothing. You are literally in front of almost 1,000 people with nothing, and all you have to do is tell the truth.
Yeah, what did you say? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Listen, I let you stay up here for a few minutes and try to get your hatred off, but you still couldn't even do that, right? You showed that at the very least, and you ran. At the very least, that you suck. If I'm going to give you an opportunity to actually, do whatever you were trying to do, which is weird because you kept requesting up and you got actually in the box and you still couldn't even do what you had to do, like, that looks bad on you. Whew, thank you for the birds. Like you came up here, you couldn't even get, yeah, I know, I heard him. He couldn't even get his hatred off. That's wild. Anywho, Trump supporters, not, people from Croatia or Russia or wherever you're from. Please stay out of the box. If you are a Trump supporter, someone that actually voted for Donald Jimothy Trump, and you want to get in the box, get in the box. We are talking to Trump supporters. Big D, I'm not going to call you that D. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, but I do want to hear these mega supporters out there, how they feel about Donald Trump's upcoming birthday, how he's going to use our tax money.
Is he? I haven't seen it officially that he's going to do that. If he actually does that, it'll be wild.
Dude, this is sick, man.
Yeah, if he actually gets that off, it's going to be wild.
He's got everything in his corner this time to do it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna drop you down though, friend. I appreciate it.
All right, my man.
All right. We got any more Trump supporters in the house? Any more Trump support? Anyone that's brave enough? Listen, guys, I'm rusty. I'm not even that good. I've been off for days. I don't know things, guys. You can come up here and dominate me. I have no idea what's happening. Where are we? What year is this? Who's the president? I don't know. Trump supporters, you can come up here and actually get a dub. Trump supporters, you can come up and dominate me. I'm not too good today. W's in the chat for Victoria, who sent a $5 donation, said to get you coffee after days of standing on a bus on business. Oh, standing on business. Yes. W's in the chat for Victoria. Thank you so much for that $5 donation. You are absolutely too kind. Thank you so much. You are absolutely amazing, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Guys, it looks like Trump supporters are scared. I don't know what's happening. I think they're intimidated. I think Trump supporters are intimidated. Scared money don't make no money. Well, if Trump supporters won't come to me, maybe I should go to them. Anybody want to go MAGA hunting? Anybody want to go MAGA hunting? Should we go MAGA hunting? Huh. We might just do that. We might go MAGA hunting. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here because, yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I think we're just going to leave it. It looks like Athena is online. Covey, my friend Covey, Athena is online. Let's go raid Athena. She's under the Covey account. And I'm sure that she is actually debating something amazing. It's Covey 2.0. Covey 2.0. Let me drop this down. So mods, can someone pin her at for me? Can someone pin Covey? There it is. Hold on. Let me pin this one. Hold on. Hold on. And pin. There we go. Guys, let's go raid Athena. My friend Covey, Santana raid. Let's go raid. I'll meet guys. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this quick outro, and we are gone. Guys, listen. It's good to be back. I missed you all so much. You all are absolutely amazing. Listen, you make this what it is. You make it worth being here. You make all of this worth being here, and I love you all so much. I do. Thank you all for being so amazing. I'm happy to see that you guys didn't forget about me, and I will be back. Late nights are back tomorrow, and we're going to get into it. Late nights are back tomorrow. We have a lot that's coming. There's a lot of great stuff that's getting ready to happen, and I'm so excited about it, and I want you all to be here with me. Join me on this journey. Let's head over to Covey 2.0. Let's go raid Athena, Santana raid. I love you all, and as always,